So in Christ, you are satisfied at the deepest level, regardless of how you feel right now, or tomorrow, or the next day, or the next day. You are. But we don't always choose to drink of the stream of living waters. We don't always choose to drink of that which God has given to us, inside of us, deep within, to experience that. And someone gave this analogy a couple of months ago. I think it was Dan, and I think it's fitting for this situation right now. If I'm sitting on the beach, enjoying the ocean waters rolling in, wave after wave after wave, toes in the sand, the picturesque sunset, with a bottle of pure nitrate-free Des Moines Waterworks water in my bottle. Now, if time goes on and I get thirsty, what is my best strategy to continue to enjoy this scenery, this picture? If in my thirst, I go to the ocean and lap up the salt water and drink deeply of the salt water, I'll keep getting thirsty and eventually I'll die. My best bet was to drink the Des Moines Waterworks water. Pure water. Okay, we'll put it at that. That's my best strategy for life. And to continue to enjoy the things that God has given me to enjoy. The world has all different sorts of salt waters that claim to quench our spiritual thirst. And they never can, but they're sneaky. And they urge us to drink them. Like the crowd that Jesus is speaking to. We're shocked when Jesus said, "You don't know him." Well, they were there to get to know him. They were following their religious responsibilities. Yet they were thirsty. It's good to devote ourselves to God, to serve in the church, to participate in community groups, to share the love of Christ with people. But if we use those things as a way of trying to satisfy our spiritual thirst, it's like drinking salt water in the ocean. It's good to devote yourself to working hard at your job. In fact, God demands that we work hard as if working for the Lord in everything that we do. But any achievements or accolades that come along with that they weren't designed to satisfy us, to satisfy our spiritual thirst. It's good to eat healthy and exercise. But any achievements or goals in this arena, they were never meant to satisfy our spiritual thirst. And the list goes on and on and on and on and on with all of our pursuits in life. We can try to use all things, the gifts that God has given us just to enjoy, to try to use them to satisfy our spiritual thirst when they're not intended to. Only Christ was designed to satisfy our spiritual thirst, and all the gifts that God has given us, working hard, family, marriage, enjoyment of vacations, they were not meant to satisfy us. They were meant to enjoy under Christ's satisfaction. And our natural disposition is to drink of the world, and our default mode when we wake up in the morning is dissatisfaction. And when we move out into the world in the state of dissatisfaction, not reminded that we are satisfied in Christ, we're just going to end up using our circumstances as a way to try to satisfy us because we feel dissatisfied. Here's a real-life example. This past week, I knew that I would be preaching to you, roughly 1,000 people, over the weekend. And if I wasn't regularly reminding myself, as I was preparing to teach from this text, that I am satisfied in Christ, I was tempted to make this time about satisfying me by impressing you and feeling and thinking like I'm awesome, instead of preaching Christ and honoring Christ and making this time about us worshiping Christ together. If we move out into the world without understanding that we are right and satisfied in Christ, we ended up using what God has given us simply to enjoy, to try to satisfy us. And it's like drinking salt water. We can't enjoy the things God has given us to enjoy because we're trying to use them to become satisfied.